Thank you. So my name's Carolyn, and I'm the assistant editor of HuffPost High School, which is the Huffington Post news section devoted to teens and all of the issues that matter to you guys. So I want to tell you a little bit about how I found my own voice in high school through print journalism and how I was able to apply that in the real world on my path to a career in online media. But more importantly, I want to tell you about what we're doing at HuffPost High School and about some of the amazing teen bloggers who are writing for us. Because my breakthrough really was realizing that teens have voices, and very loud voices, in fact, and that I wanted to create an online platform for teens to share their voices and to be heard. So I think that the best way to introduce you to the site before I tell you my own story is to introduce you to one of our teen bloggers. Her name's Benny Kinkle. She's a 14-year-old singer, anti-bullying activist, and high school freshman. Benny has a friend named Rebecca Black, and she was in a little video. Some of you guys might have seen it. It's called Friday. And in that video, Benny, she's in it for under 10 seconds, and she's in a scene where Rebecca has a friend on either side of her. They're in a car, and she does this super awkward dance for about 10 seconds where she's kind of moving her arms like she's playing an accordion. And that video, as most of you know, exploded, and it got over 200 million views. And suddenly, everyone had something to say about Benny, except they didn't know that her name was Benny. They just called her that girl in pink, or that girl in pink who dances awkwardly, or that awkward friend of Rebecca Black, something like that. And some of the comments, she got fan pages, and there were funny videos that were made of her dancing to other songs, but there were also a lot of very hurtful, hateful comments, and she essentially became the target of internet haters. And so Benny spoke out about her experiences. She started an anti-bullying foundation called the That Girl in Pink Foundation, and she wrote a blog post for the Huffington Post about her experience, and it was very heartfelt and very truthful, and people really connected to it. And her post got hundreds of thousands of views, and it inspired pages of comments because she inspired so many people. And I think that's what's really amazing about what we're doing, is that we're finding teens who are very passionate and very vocal, and we're giving them a platform to share their passions with tons and tons of people, like was never really possible before, especially when I was in high school. And the reason that she is particularly inspiring to me is that when I was 14, like Benny, I was very shy, and I was very unsure of myself. And I had opinions, but I was a little bit afraid to express them. And I had written for years in a journal, and that was the one space where I felt that I could really express my opinions and completely be myself. And so as an aspiring writer, it seemed like the logical next step for me to become involved with my high school newspaper. So I did just that, and it changed me in ways that I had never expected. And I really found my voice through the process of going out and seeking stories and doing interviews and being part of an editorial board. And once I developed my voice through my high school paper and then my college paper, I found that I didn't want to be silent anymore, and I wanted to share my passions and share my beliefs with others. And so now, after working at my college paper, after interning at BlackBook, 17, and Vanity Fair, I've come on board at the Huffington Post to launch the new teen section, which is kind of bringing me back to where I started and helping me to promote teen voices. And one of our amazing teen voices comes from Sophie Johnson, who's one of our youngest bloggers. She is a 14-year-old 8th grader at Malibu Middle School, and she wrote a very inspiring piece about why she chose to go to the Occupy LA protest instead of synagogue on Yom Kippur. And her post blew up. People were so inspired by it, and there were pages and pages of comments of adults, teens, kids telling her how wonderful it was to see someone so young with such a strong social conscience. And Sophie is one of the over 300 teen voices that we feature on our site. And a big part of what I do as an editor is that I read and edit all of these teen-written blog posts that come into our inbox. And what I've realized through the process of reading all of these pieces is that teens really have something positive and something strong to contribute to our broader cultural dialogue, and that having young, passionate voices can really make the world a better place. And with platforms like the Huffington Post, you guys really have the opportunity to enact real change, because we've seen teens writing pieces on everything, being opinionated on everything from Occupy Wall Street, to New York Fashion Week, to sports, to music, to Obama. It's amazing. And one of our other teen bloggers, who is particularly passionate about music, his name is Judah Joseph, and he is a 17-year-old high school senior. He was quoted as a representative of the Huffington Post alongside Rolling Stone for a recent review that he did of Coldplay's new album. And that just goes to show that our teen bloggers are not just treated as kids, they're treated as adults and as real journalists, because that's what they are, and because their voices are as legitimate as any others. We also had a piece that went pretty crazy. As you can see, it got almost 1,500 Facebook shares, and this was two high school seniors selected by the National Debate Society, and they sounded off on whether Obama should be reelected in 2012. And I think what's so awesome about the fact that this piece went viral is that there are thousands of people on the internet debating about whether Obama should be reelected in 2012. And people want to hear what high school students have to say because they have something meaningful to contribute to that dialogue. And another piece that did particularly well was a high school senior who wrote a satirical essay about the college admissions essay. He formatted his post as a letter to the author of his college essay guidebook. And in the process of calling this whole essay into question and talking about whether the personal statement is really effective, he wrote a pretty strong satire that, again, inspired a huge discussion about whether the personal statement is really effective as an assignment, whether it's possible to avoid cliché when you're writing a college admissions essay. And one of my personal favorite pieces was written by 18-year-old Alton Liu. And he starts his piece by saying, "I'm 18 years old and I'm a product of ineffective schooling." And what he means by that is that his schooling has been geared towards memorizing facts. And what he really thinks that students need is hands-on learning. And he says that the kind of hands-on learning that he needs is what he got in his high school journalism class, which is what I found as well. The skills that I gained through high school journalism have followed me throughout college and beyond. And he calls for really this kind of revolution in education that gives us the kind of skills that will lead all of you guys to express your ideas on these huge platforms, as you now have the opportunity to do. And so what I want to leave you with is the fact that, teens, you guys really can be agents of change. And now you have platforms for hundreds of thousands of people to hear what you have to say. So I'm going to leave you with the words of Taylor Swift, actually, who said at the Teen Choice Awards that when I was a teen, I was always stereotyped as being very passionate and dramatic and hopelessly romantic and very intense. And now, in retrospect, I think that all of those things are amazing things. And I think that those are amazing things too. And I really encourage you to find your truth and to find what you're passionate about and to share it and speak it out to the world, whether it's on your Twitter, your Tumblr, your Facebook, your blog, your YouTube channel, wherever. Just get it out there and know that people want to hear what you have to say. And please reach out to me if you're interested in blogging. Thank you so much.